Do they owe reparations for people's brains they were eating back in the day? I mean, come on, man.
You are what?
Meet me after slashing your wrist, or at the end if you so insist. I'm persistent when told to cease and desist with this blasphemous shit.
Colonial. Today we're going to be looking at a video from Officer Tatum. There's a rumor that he's apparently a good friend or a pen pal with Derek Chauvin. Is that true? Corresponding quite a lot. Is that right? We'll have to double check that, but I have heard from multiple sources he's definitely a bit of a cunt. I don't like to judge for myself like any true Christian would. So let's take a look and see what man's got to say.
It is a shame that racism is so bad in America that black people got to make it up.
Make it up? My guy, I knew I could count on you.
And a caller called in just the other day and said a lot of it is perception, and it's true.
Perception? I didn't expect that start. Do you mean like the way you perceive yourself when looking in the mirror? So you started by saying you can't believe racism in America is so bad. Followed that up by saying black people in America are now making up racism. So clearly your perception of reality isn't quite where it should be. So what is your perception of racism?
I think that there's not much racism in America.
Sorry, I had brain freeze. When you say not much, you mean?
It's very minimal.
Okay, that makes it a little clearer. I
think there's prejudice in America.
Okay, you are completely mixed messaging. What is going on? Racism has got so bad. Black people are making it up, but it's all just a perception. Racism is very minimal. It's not really racism. It's actually just prejudice, because prejudice is okay. I'm sure we'll work this out.
I think there's prejudice in America that's more, I would say, more apparent than any level of racism.
Okay, so you want to play word games.
But I think a lot of people
what are making it up, trusting their eyes too much, trusting their ears too much, falling victim to pranks. A lot of people what?
I would say involvement or connection to what they would consider to be racist events.
My guy. What? Who's this for?
Or all perception.
So that day when you was walking down the road with your wife and your baby in the stroller, and that car drove past and someone shouted out the passenger side, "Nigga!" That wasn't racism. You just perceived it as racism because you want to be a victim. That was just a casual reminder of your skin color.
You know, I remember driving down the street and I told a story on the show. I waved at a guy walking his dog. I thought he was looking at me. You
have said multiple times you was raised in the hood. So when did you start waving, Mike? Of course, I know what you're going to say. It's more professional.
He just didn't do nothing. Now, I could live with a lens of racism and say, because I'm black and he white, that...
You sleep in a coffin, don't you? Like, when they said he was a cunt, like, I didn't believe it, but he does say a lot of cuntish shit. So in your vocabulary, all racism is put into this one category where you was driving down the road waving at a white man and the white man didn't wave back. That's what you consider racism in. You genuinely, or is that you trying to minimize?
Somehow he didn't look at me. And then I can go on and make a video about it and talk about it and live my life believing that this guy was racist.
Who said the man ignoring me was top of my priorities of complaints? If I really felt away, I would go and say something to him. What are you talking about? Who's making videos about a man ignoring? People make videos about being kicked out of Starbucks because they are black. People make videos about being kicked out of banks because they are black. Not because they waved at a fellow and the fellow didn't wave back.
I never got at and talked to the guy. The guy could be blind. All I know, he was walking the dog. The dog could have been walking him.
I thought you used to be a policeman. Like, don't you have better perception skills? We're literally talking about perception. That's meant to be your avenue, my guy. Was he a good policeman or not?
I don't know.
This story is sounding suspiciously fishy, my guy.
I don't know. Maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe he hate men. I don't know what his problem is. Maybe he just didn't see me and I thought he did.
The best thing about this little section is you're attributing all disrespect to this unknown, unnamed white man that you would never attribute to an unknown, unnamed black man. I've seen your page. If a black man did the exact same thing, you'll be saying it's because he's ignorant. It's because black people are so rude, and don't even act like you would, because you would.
I mean, you got these situations and scenarios occurring every single day in America.
Right. Can you look in the Oxford Dictionary? None of this Google Dictionary. Look in the Oxford Dictionary. Go into C, down to U. Look up the word cunt. Have we got the Pictionary version? Yeah. See what comes up. Cheers.
And it's up to the person to choose whether they see this as a racial thing, or whether they see it as, I don't know what this is, and I'm not going to attach a label to it. I'm not going to look through the lens of racism.
Maybe it's not their fault. I mean, I had the cheek to walk into the bank with melanin and a piece of paper with some numbers on it that implied I'm required to have some money. No way that makes sense. I've seen the news. This must be a shakedown.
I have so many people tell me about racism, and they go, oh, yeah, I experience racism all the time. This is what happened to me. And I say, well, the person follow you around the store, right? Okay, that person works in sales, right? Okay, what do you think they're going to do? They're trying to sell you something. Of course they follow you around the store.
They also have mouths. If they were trying to sell me something, they could come over like they always do. Is that what's happening?
Well, because they see a black man looking like he could. Yeah, you look like you got more money than the white dude, so they're going to follow you and get a sale instead of following the white guy around who ain't going to buy nothing.
When in the history of America has that sentence ever been said? Okay, guy. So why does a black guy in a sports car look so suspicious? Why does jewelry around a black person's neck entice the police to come and question them? Why, when you wear the most expensive clothes, can you be denied access? Because they look like they have too much money? My guy, you're just...
But I know, somebody I was talking to the other day said they were pulled over by the police.
How convenient. Another story that happens to play into the narrative you're trying to push.
They admitted that they broke the law.
Okay, they broke the law, and then what happened?
But then they thought the police was doing all this extra stuff, and I'm like, listen, man, this is basic protocol. When I was a cop, we did this to everybody. We asked them, do they have guns, weapons in the car? It's a part of training. It's a part of safety. They ask everybody. It's just protocol. It's not because you're black. It's not because, get away from that theology.
Okay, you haven't broke down the story very well because you said he broke the law. We all know if we break the law and we're apprehended by the police, they're going to search our shit. So where's the part of the story where this is relevant to racism? That was the reason you was pulling it out as an example.
It's not consistent. But I want to play a clip from The View.
We'll just skip past it.
I think we have that clip ready. A clip from The View. The Queen died.
Don't start a sentence like that, my guy. Not very respectful.
And these dirty heifers.
Dirty heifers? Do people even say heifer? When was the last time you was in the black community, my guy? Heifer? What is a heifer? Right.
I call them hamburger heifers.
Hamburger heifers, my guy. You clearly perceive yourself as hench. I perceive you as fat, my guy. Hamburger heifers.
These dirty hamburger heifers.
Dirty now? Dirty? Why are they dirty? What makes them dirty, my guy? I heard dirty plenty in my younger days. Had nothing to do with me being dirty, my guy. Dirty. Fucking hell, your disassociation knows no bounds.
On The View, had the nerve to make it about racism.
Do you know this song? Ooh, 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 I wanna be like you. Ooh, ooh.
Roll the clip.
Because if you really think about what the monarchy...
Yo, who is this? I'm listening to what she's got to say. Sorry. What? Wait. How is the guy I perceive to be fat and chunky calling this pretty lady hamburger heifer? My guy. I bet her biggest meal was breakfast for you, guy. What are you talking about? He's such a nasty piece of work, isn't he? And no, I'm not simping. It's just man called her a dirty hamburger heifer. And then she pops up on the screen. She's stunning. So why all the names? Just because you didn't like what she said?
If you really think about what the monarchy... was built on. It was built on the backs of black and brown people. She wore a crown with pillaged stones from India and Africa. And now what you're seeing, at least in the black communities that I'm a part of, they want reparations. You know, Barbados left the sort of this monarchy, this colonization.
Yeah. Look, you're very pretty, but get it right. It's a Commonwealth. I'm not wearing this bowler hat for nothing.
Jamaica, I have a lot of Jamaican friends. That's coming soon. And right now, Charles now is in a position. I think, has 14 colonies.
See, that was a more appropriate use of that
he is now head of state, including Australia and Canada, I believe, if I'm correct. It's time for him to modernize this monarchy, and it's time for him to provide reparations to all of those colonies.
Oh, for the love of Jesus of Nazareth.
Do you think Jesus of Nazareth would agree with you over what she just said? What was wrong with what she said? What part of what she said was not a fact? People essentially have had to mind their P's and Q's out of respect for Queen Elizabeth II because, bless her cottons, she was getting on. But she is gone now. The last major, obvious, in-your-face colonial link. So it's right we start talking about it. I mean, after all, that crown, the jewels she specified, $400 million a piece, my guy. What are you saying? You'd barely give a homeless man change without giving him some Christian message. Does that make us like uncivilized or beggars for our own stuff? So I'm assuming if someone walked into your shop, picked up something, walked out, you wouldn't bother chasing them. That would make you a tramp for asking for the money off the person. They've got it now. Like, come on, get out of yourself. Oh.
These people are nutty.
These people. We're talking about quite a lot of the world, my guy. The continent of Africa, the Caribbean, the continent of Asia. These people. Where is the bleach?
They are so they got everything has to be about minority and people of color.
These niggas always asking for reparations and money. It's because they never got any, my guy. Why is that so difficult to understand? Why are you trying to pander and make black people appear dirty for asking for money? Is that why you called her dirty? Because she asked for money, leaving out the context that the money was taken from her, me, us, just to sit on the head of a person. Doesn't that sound stupid to you? Genuinely. Think about in today's climate. What could 400 million do, as Trump would say?
All these shithole countries here. Mr. Trump was referring to African nations and Haiti. A White House spokesman tonight not denying the president's words.
If they're shithole nations, 400 million could make a huge fucking difference, my guy. But now they're being trampy for asking for it. What is wrong with you? Everyone go Officer Tatum store, order what you want, because he doesn't need the money. He's cool. He wouldn't be trampy enough to ask for money.
Yeah, I was looking at a video on Joe Rogan's show. He was talking to a guy who was a historian.
Okay, he's skipped over everything she's just said and gone straight to Joe Rogan. So clearly this is going to be important.
And the guy had mentioned that the Aztec.
Don't worry, he's going somewhere with this.
The Aztec Indians used to burn people alive.
We'll get there.
And then eat their brain. Because when they burn you alive, all the hormones and all this other stuff go to your brain. And then they used to take the brain out and eat it because it had all these nutritional values.
I've heard of something like that, and it sounds like it still goes on today, but it wasn't humans, my guy, it was animals. Specifically dogs.
Slaughterhouse Survivors, a non-profit dog rehab and adoption agency.
She was found at a restaurant with her legs broken. So the bone on her forearm was actually completely separated with a gap about that big. The longer they can keep the dog alive whilst they're preparing the meat, then the better it will be for them, I guess.
Do they owe reparations for people's brains they were eating back in the day? I mean, come on, man.
Reparations for eating brains? Who's asking who for reparations in what scenario you are talking? What? I'm not even going to dignify that. You know exactly what you're doing. You say it. Apparently you're a dickhead.
Shut the front door with this stuff.
Front door. That's what I'm saying. You're so disingenuous. You're swearing. Just because you replace the words, we know what the words are supposed to mean. So you're still fucking swearing, my guy. So just fucking swear. Be honest for once in your fucking life, my guy. I am cool. Chill, man. It's cool. Like, I'm just not used to seeing this xenocentrism so blatant. Like, all right. I know. Not everyone's Michael Jackson. I get it.
Every time we turn around, they crying about something.
Every time I turn around crying about something, I'll give you something to cry about.
And it's mostly black people. I don't see white people complaining.
Mostly black people. At least he's kind of understanding the effect of racism. Shame he's only seeing the effect and not the cause. Which is weird coming from a capitalist.
But I don't see Jewish people complaining about the Holocaust as much as black people complain about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with them.
The Holocaust, you say? Do you not hear Jewish people complain about the Holocaust, you say? Shout out to my Jewish people. And you're more than welcome to correct me in the comments if you'd like, because I mean no offense. But the Jewish community received reparations. There was accountability. So yet again, you're pulling out shit examples from your ass. We're not going to compare suffering. Suffering is suffering. What happened in the Holocaust was disgusting. What happened in slavery was disgusting. You bringing up the Holocaust is disgusting.
You talking about Jamaica? You ain't like Jamaicans.
Do you want to say it a little louder?
You ain't like Africans.
Do you want to say that a little louder, my guy?
You're an American. We different people. But because they have some level of victimhood, you attach yourself to these people. We're not, I'm not like Cubans. Some of these guys may look like me, but we ain't the same. I'm from America.
What's that got to do with anything? Are you black or not?
I speak English.
So does every black country, my guy.
I'm not saying some of these people don't speak English. In Jamaica, obviously, the language is English, but there's a Jamaican dialect.
My God.
We're from a different part of the world.
No, West Africa guy. Yeah, there's quite a few countries there now. Most of the lines around the countries, I think you call them borders. Yeah, borders. Most of those borders were drawn by the English. So, yeah.
Don't try to act like we all the same because our skin color is similar.
Similar? Just think about what you just said there. Don't think that we're all the same because our skin tone is what? Similar? You say people have a similar color to you, but you're not like them. My guy, you don't even fucking try to hide it.
It's like all white people aren't the same. European, Australian. I mean, you go down the list, these people are not the same. People in America aren't the same as people in Europe.
Yes, they are, guy. They're all European. Just because they ended up in different places doesn't change what they are.
They're two different white people.
Bro, I think it's time you stop talking.